a few days away from the fall season, so now is the perfect time to think about your fall planting. And here with the dirt on those top things you should consider, U of I Extension's Ryan Pankau, horticultural educator, is back with us. So fall is a good time to plant?
Yeah, it's an excellent time to plant trees and shrubs. So that's what we're talking about today. And I'd also like to talk about the reason why it's really important to plant native trees and shrubs.
Tell me, why?
So if you look at the food webs that support our ecosystems in the natural environment, all of that energy really comes from plants that other animals higher up in the food web consume, whether it's an insect that just directly consumed a plant or a larger animal that eats an insect that just ate a plant. Plants are very important, and the basis of all of that food web is insects. So it's really important to plant native plants because they have that relationship with our insects that they support our native insect populations.
Okay. So now is the perfect time to be planting those native plants. So we've got some slides here of some examples of native plants. So tell me about this.
Well, so the East Central Illinois Master Naturalists actually have a native tree and shrub sale going on right now. And here's our list of native shrubs that we offer. And there's quite a few there. And a lot of these have either berries or fruit or flowers that support pollinators. And a lot of different ways they support wildlife in our area. So I'd like to highlight just a few of my favorites, and the first of which is New Jersey tea. So we have a slide of that coming up here that it's a smaller shrub, and it actually does really well in full sun type settings. And really flowers for a good couple months every summer. So
okay, hopefully they can pull that up. I think we've got quite a few graphics here. So tell me about the New Jersey tea again. Here's
New Jersey tea. There's some of the details about it. It's not a real big one, but great for a full sun spot where you have just full sun. Doesn't get too big, but just is an amazing flower, amazing flowering display.
Okay.
And if you look at the wildlife value there, it supports a ton of native insects, which then support the larger species in our area.
Okay. Up next, we got the Spicebush.
Yeah, the next one is Spicebush, and I think this is one that folks don't think of or use a lot. It's in a lot of our native forests, but what it does really well is it tolerates shade. So if you have a shady spot where you want a shrub to go, this is a great one. It has those little tiny yellow flowers super early in spring. So that's why it's kind of important to all of our pollinators and things, because it has a flower that's really early in the year, and so that's kind of rare. So,
okay, we've got a tree list.
So now
you're into a tree.
Yeah, now we have a list of trees, so you can see there's a good assortment of different, we have some oaks, you know, persimmons have fruits, pawpaws have fruits, some of these have fruits, so it's just kind of a nice selection of some of our native trees, and the first one of those I would like to talk about is actually the Paw Paw Tree.
Well, besides being fun to say, right? I've got a Paw Paw Tree in my backyard.
Besides being fun to say, it is our largest native fruit from a tree.
What kind of fruit?
Well, you can see a picture of it here. Those little green things, they're kind of long and skinny. They're probably a little like an oblong apple, and they actually taste kind of like a banana.
What? I've never seen those. And those are the most popular or the largest around here?
They are the largest native fruit-producing tree. So, or they produce the largest native fruit from a tree. So, yeah. And that's another one that does well in shade. A lot of folks need to have a spot where they have a shady place that they would like to put a small tree. But the last one I'd like to talk about is a larger shade tree, and that is the Baroque. So we have a little slide on this. And it just is one of those trees, if you look at the wildlife value, it just blows all the others out of the water as far as how many mammals and insects and birds and everything it can support. So it's a great thing to add for our native wildlife. But on top of that, in urban settings or in your yard or wherever you might want to plant this tree is just really versatile and handles a lot of different soil conditions.
Wow.
And is just a really tough one to plant.
You got a lot of information there, Mr. Pankau. So we'll definitely have all of this as well as the details on that native tree and shrub sale on CILiving.tv.